Hello there, welcome to Sacred Stories Hub, where people share their most profound and sometimes challenging life experience. Hello Wayne, I'm desperate, I need help, some advice before I take a wrong path because of this marriage. I got involved in a mess. There was a time in my life when I used to tell myself that if I ever get married to a man that was wealthy, then all of my troubles will be gone. When all of my financial troubles are gone, but I have so many sleepless nights. I don't know if it's me that is a problem in this marriage, or if it's my husband, because there are so many nights when my current husband blames me for everything that is going wrong in my marriage. As for now, he's forcing me to go and visit the therapist. He has already booked for the therapist, but I'm so weak in my mind. On my husband's relative aside, they blame me because according to them, they say my husband insults them a lot whenever they come to him when they are looking for assistance. He always shouts at them before he assists them. My in-laws blame me for all of these things that are happening. They say that before I was married to their brother was someone who was good-hearted. He was so kind man. He was assisting everyone in the family. But when I got involved with him in the relationship that was in with him, and when I finally got married to him, that is when they noticed that he was now a changed man, and they blame me for everything. I am a woman whose age 37. I was married before. I ran away from my husband because my first marriage I managed to give birth to girls. My husband was blaming me for giving birth to only girls because he said that girls in life are worthless. The reason why my ex-husband said that are just worthless as children, he said it was because if he was to die, then it means that his name and his family name will forever be forgotten. So he wanted to go out there and look for another woman who was going to give him a baby boy, so that when he dies, his name and his family name will never be forgotten. They started cheating. He started cheating on me, and from the moment he will ask him about his whereabouts, he will threaten to beat me up. The first time when I found out that my husband was cheating on me, then I found out that he was sleeping over at another woman's house. When I tried to confront him, the following day when he came back home, I heard that his car was now being parked in the garage. So I went into his office. So that I can confront him. I wanted to know where he slept. Remember, he parked the car, but he didn't sleep at home, because on that night he had switched off his phone and I could not get hold of him. I tried calling him. I thought that something bad had happened to him. There was a time when I wanted to go to the police station. But one of his sisters said that I should not do that. My in-laws who like me encouraged me not to do. He might come back anytime. The rest of them, when I told them that I could not get hold of my husband, they would tell me that I killed him for his money. I could not sleep. I just sat all night long. I was crying. Hence, in the beginning of the message, I said to you, Wayne, when I got married to this wealthy man, I thought that this man was going to end all of my problems, because I used to hear people saying that when you are wealthy, you do not get stressed because you have money. But on that night, I sat in that couch, and as I was crying, when I could not get hold of my ex-husband, that is when I told myself that if I got married to a wealthy man, then all of my troubles will be gone. Because this is what I used to hear other women say, that if you are married to a man who is wealthy, it doesn't matter if he cheats on you, because it is better to cry when you are in a mansion than to cry when you are in a shack. That is what I told myself on that night. When I walked out into the garage, when I heard that my husband was busy parking the car, I knocked on his door before he could even get out, because I wanted to hear where he was coming from. In the middle of the night, he opened the door, then he pushed me aside, so I dragged him because I wanted to know where he didn't want to speak with me. That is when he started yelling at me, and the way he was yelling at me, when he was holding me by the neck, then he was pounding my head on the bonnet of the car. After that, he started punching me. Then he left me injured like that in the garage. He went in the bedroom and he was shouting all this time. He was making so much noise that the kids woke up. Then they started crying because they had never seen such violence in our home since they were born. My husband then started breaking things in the house. He pushed things until he had fallen down. He took another golf stick, then he started beating the television set. The whole house was just a mess. Then he left. Before he could leave, he told me that he had impregnated another woman, and that woman was about to give birth, and they had already gone to the clinic to confirm, and the scan had showed that the woman was carrying a bouncing baby boy. This is what he told me. Wait, just like that, I lost my husband forever. I thought it was all a joke. I thought that I was in the middle of nightmare, and very soon I was going to wake up. But when 2 weeks went by, and when I saw that my husband had changed his phone number, that is when I knew that my marriage is over. When I knew that my marriage was over, my husband just dumped me like that. Wait, imagine. He left me to suffer with our children, and after the baby was born, the baby that he had with another woman, he told me that he was not going to pay school fees for our girls, because he said that he does not believe that a girl child should be taken to school because they are just worthless. Why would you bother take a girl child to school when she was going to get married to another man? My ex-husband said that he didn't want to educate our girls so that when they get married, they will enrich another man. He said that they will get married to a man and the man was supposed to take care of their education. When I cried all night long, then life continued. And me and my girls, we were suffering just to make my kids to eat and go to school was a challenge for me. And that time when my husband left me, I then got a job. It was just a part-time job. I was working as a cleaner and I was cleaning some offices there in Durban. But I used to do this 3 days a week. As I was working for that company, that is when one day one of the shareholders of this other company that I was working for, he started chatting with me, and to my surprise, he asked me out. I never expected that someone who was a shareholder of a company will ever ask someone like me out, but I agreed. And then he told me that he was going to pick me up. I was quite embarrassed because now I was staying in Kwanongom. Even on the day when he came to pick me up so that we can go for dinner, everyone was just looking outside of their windows because they saw that there was a very beautiful car that was parked outside. The house that was renting at that time, my boss then picked me up and we went out. We had a wonderful dinner. Then we started dating, but the way we were dating, he never told me that he loved me. He started paying for the school fees for my children. He started taking care of us until he told me that he wanted to move me out of the location so that I can go and stay in the suburbs. And he kept his promise. Then he started staying in the suburbs until I saw that it was far much better that I moved in with him because he was staying in a mansion alone. He had other workers, but jealousy started to creep in my heart because I started asking myself, if I do not stay with him, what will happen if he starts to date one of his mates? Then I was going to lose such a wonderful man. So I just packed my bags one day and I went to his place. But at that time, I was alone. I just left my children alone because I wanted to save this relationship. I didn't want another woman to steal this man away from me. I called him when I was in his gate and I asked him to open up for me. He asked me why didn't I call him when I was still at my place. Then I told him that I just felt like I wanted to see him. When he opened the gate, he saw that I had my bags and everything. He asked me what was the meaning of this. Then I told him that I had decided to come and stay with you. When he was happy about it, me and him, we're going to stay together. And he hired another nanny so that the nanny can take care of my children until I fell pregnant. When I fell pregnant, I don't know, but I felt like I wanted to be close by my children all the times until he told me that it was okay. He thought about it and I was supposed to take care of my children so that we can stay together as a family. I was really happy. This man, he was a caring man in all time. He went with me to my family, then he paid for the bride price. I was now his wife officially. What he did is that he told me that we cannot have a very big wedding. He didn't want to attract the attention of the media since he is a shareholder of this other big company that is here in Durban. So he said that we should have a small wedding, so we decided that we will go to court when we will have our wedding at the court. After that, we will just have a small family celebration. That is what we did. But when we went on the vacation, it was really a very big vacation before we had gotten married. He made me to sign up some papers at his lawyer's office, and they explained to me that if I was going to divorce my husband, then I should know that his wealth is his wealth. When I got into the marriage with him, I had nothing, and my husband was a wealthy man. I can only claim for maintenance, but not his wealth. I was really hurt because when I got out this marriage with my husband, it was not about money, but it was because he said he loved me at the time when I needed love the most. But anyway, I signed those papers because I wanted to. I was so desperate to get married to him. The papers are still here whenever I cry after my husband has insulted me. I go over those papers and cry. I'm thinking that my husband married me because he just felt sorry for me. He didn't marry me because he loved me. Those are my thoughts. The reason why I have written to you, it is because I'm asking for advice. My kids moved in so that they can stay with us. My current husband then told me that I have to change my children's and I have to use his surnames because he said that since he's the one who is taking care of these children, they are now his adopted children. And he said that if I manage to change their surname to his, then he's going to be happy man. Whenever we have any trouble in our relationship, he always accuses me. He tells me that I'm someone who is not obedient enough. And I ask him to point out where I was not being obedient to him. He said that if it was obedient enough, the moment that he told me that he wanted my children to change their surname and they should start using his surname, he said that the reason he said the reason why I'm refusing, maybe it's because I still have feelings for my ex-husband. And this hurts me a lot because I have told you everything that happened between me and my husband. How could I still have feelings for a man that abused me in such a way, for a man that grabbed me by my neck and he started banging my head against the bonnet of the car? How can I still have feelings for such a man? But my current husband, this is what the things that he tells me after he has told me that I still have feelings for him, for my ex-husband. He apologized and he will tell me that he is very sorry. He had no intentions to hurt my feelings. As for now, he has given me 2 months to think about this. I'm so confused. Is it good to change another man's child? Should I change my children's surname? And should I use their stepfather's surname? As for now, there's no affection between me and my husband. Whenever I try to touch him, he will tell me that he's very tired. And sometimes I try to touch him. He will say that he's very stressed because I have refused to obey everything that he is telling me because I need help. That was it. If you resonate with any of these stories, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this heartfelt experience with others. Let's continue to spread empathy and understanding.